You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Hey, it's your boy Lauren back again with another episode with a young and rising tech entrepreneur, an investor, a first generation immigrant, a call him a multi entrepreneur. And welcome to the show, Babar Arshad.
Thank you for having me, Luan. How are you?
I'm blessed. That's the first thing I would say when people ask, I'm blessed and highly favored. y- you know. Um, so you say here you're first generation immigrant. When did you come over here?
I moved in 2017. I was born in Pakistan. I stayed in UK for a bit, and then I moved here in 2017 year start.
2017. So you only been in the States 7 years?
Yeah, it's about 8 years now. It was 2017 year start. Yeah. So seems like a lifetime, man.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest cultural difference from Pakistan to UK into Frisco, Texas?
Yeah. I think one of my mentors put this in a very nice way because initially I was in a shock when I came to the developed part of the world, right? So from a developing country to a developed country, I think the biggest difference you see is that in a developing country you have livelihood problems, food, water, electricity, logistical issues. In a developed country, you have social problems. So we have crime, we have the gun culture, we have some other social problems over here, and it's common in a lot of developed countries. So I think the biggest difference is livelihood problems versus social problems. So what do you want to choose?
Yeah, so I came from Vietnam. I've been here for 20 years. So I totally understand what you mean, right? Is back in Vietnam, a lot of people are just trying to feed their family for the next day, or
Yeah.
find running toilet or by clean water, versus you go to like Japan, US, or UK, or even I think even Mexico. Some part of Mexico is the problem is like, oh, is my neighbor gonna like me? Or he look at me the wrong way. He got on the fence that I didn't like the color. Well, he got this and he parked right in front of my house. Uh, to me, those are not problem. Those are symptom of a developed economy.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Yes, they're more first world problems. Of course, everybody feels that their problems are the worst, but I think it's much better to have these problems than those problems.
Right? And you have mentioned here that you run a few tech company. How you get into tech?
So I am from a non-technical background. I don't have a tech degree. I never thought I would be doing tech when I was growing up. I was always business savvy though. I always wanted to do something of my own. You know, I had more business acumen than a lot of my friends. So when I got my master's degree, I got my MBA. Again, not tech related, but at that time, I saw a lot of people converting into digital marketing and online spaces, and e-commerce was big back then. So I saw around me a lot of people were creating impact through technology. They're building good technology and creating impact in the world, and of course earning a lot of money through it. So I think that was the time in 2017 when I realized that tech is an up and coming industry to be in. And then I got an opportunity, to start my first business in the tech field. Um, and that's how, the tech journey for me started. Made a couple of companies, failed, learned, moved on, and now, I have two successful companies that I'm running. Again, long way to go, but as a non-technical founder, I think now I have a lot of tech knowledge on how to get efficient technology built for your business.
Mhm. Uh, so I think you hit the nail right on the head there in the world is moving into a world by online information, online, procurement of information, and then marketing is more or less is moving it moving towards that same online digital marketing, right? I think tech is has a lot of potential in changing a lot of industry because everything needs technology, right?
Yeah.
Everybody rely on Google, everybody rely on Facebook for their marketing. Everybody rely on, some of these, if you're in construction, some of these lead aggregator site like Angie List and Home Advisor and shit like that. And so actually I know a lot of people in the tech industry that do SaaS for construction people, and the field is, to me, is still wide open. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I think this is the way that all the business will become. So marketing and technology company first, and then you just happen to build, you happen to put on roof, you happen to do what it is that you do because, like, I know nothing about tech. I know nothing about building decks. Uh, but I have a deck company because, if you know business, then you just find the people to do it for you, right? So
Yeah, that's very true. I think the way you put it, I think in a few years, not long from now, every company will be a tech first company. You know, Amazon was a logistics company, it became a tech company. You know, a lot of examples that we have now, tech is always be gonna be first. It's gonna be like the base layer, that base layer that everything stands on, everything exists on technology. And the sooner people learn this, adapt this, especially small business owners. Of course, the big companies already have learned this. They have very good base tech layers on top of which they provide any other service. But the sooner smaller companies realize this, the better it's going to be for them. A lot of people did realize this in COVID times, but the mindset changed. But still, implementation is very tough, especially for small businesses that have been running in a certain way for the past, 2, 3, 4 decades, 2, 3, 4 generations. It's very tough for them to change their base layer, their core. But the sooner people learn this, adapt on this, I think the more successful they will be in this, up and coming time.
so you say you have a few tech company. What do you do with those? What service do you
So
provide?
yeah, so we have one services company which is called iTitans. I think also the background I'm using is of iTitans. We do apps, portals, websites, so custom technology, mobile apps, web portals, custom websites. Usually we take on projects that are not done on WordPress or Shopify or these other platforms. We build them natively, in language in tech languages. And the second company that I have is a tech product. It's called K Hub. K is for commerce, so Commerce Hub, and Commerce Hub digitizes wholesaler operations across North America. So if you're a wholesaler who needs a digital product, Commerce Hub will do everything in your warehouse from purchase, sale, inventory management, e-commerce, financial aspect, marketing aspect, accounting aspect, delivery aspect. All these things we provide a one-stop solution for wholesalers across the US. These are my two companies. I've been doing iTitans for the past 5 years. iTitans is my main cash cow, and I've been doing K-Hub for the past 3 years. In K-Hub, I also have a partner, and we have an office in Florida where my partner and about 20 of our people are located.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So how you say you weren't always a tech entrepreneur? How did you how did you fell into like e-commerce and how did you fell into that? Was it always your plan or did you see an
No,
opportunity?
it was never the plan. I saw an opportunity and I went for it. It was never the plan to go into tech. My first company was called Influencer Hub. It was a platform connecting social media influencers and brands. And I got it built for very cheap offshore because I did not have money at that time. So when I was building that, I realized that I like building solutions, or getting them built, at least from a business perspective. That was my first venture into technology, and the venture failed, but the learnings I had from them were great in terms of getting technology built. That is when I explored the world of e-commerce, online selling, of course, making custom technology for other people, because people came up to me and they were like, "Hey, we don't need your services for Influencer Hub, but you've developed a very good technology. Can you build something for us?" And then I built a wide range of things from health tech to fintech to martech, dating apps, and all sorts of products I help people build. That was the start of iTitans, and then COVID came, and when COVID came, I was working on a few health tech ideas. So COVID came and those shot up. And I got a chance to work with big companies like Lyft and Uber and Trexade and a lot of these listed companies because they were investing heavily into health tech. So that was my big jump basically when I established my bigger tech company.
That's amazing, man. For first generation immigrants, that's you're living the dream, right? Seeing
I mean,
opportunity, capitalize on the opportunity,
yeah,
and
yeah.
providing opportunity.
That's the reason we moved to a place like this, right? If we're being honest, better lifestyle, being in a more growth-oriented place with more opportunities. America is the land of opportunities, and my story also proves that. Again, I think I have a long way to go, but in the start that I've gotten, you won't get a start like this in a lot of other parts of the world. So I think God bless America in that way, in terms of giving us the right opportunities and helping us grow. And I think the opportunities exist in every field. Whatever field you put your head down to and just work, there's so much opportunity in every field, and that's the beauty of this country.
Yes, the opportunities are endless. It's also very competitive, so it just makes you better, right? And I think whatever you do, and if you're starting a business, what doesn't matter what you do, eventually all businesses will do the same thing. Marketing, sales, finance, fulfillment, recruiting, and maybe there's HR HR function in there somewhere if your company is big enough. But basically, most of the company, will if you've been in business long enough, you will end your day to day will end it up looking the same. You know,
Yeah.
how can
Yeah, I put it very simply, right? I tell people that it's demand and supply.
Yep.
So every company, everything, every business in the world is just demand and supply. Then there's certain segments to each part of it, which support the demand and supply. But the two bigger things are demand and supply. So you have to learn how to create demand and be in a high demand industry, and then learn how to have a automated, continuous, scalable supply. You know. So I think if you're able to do these two things, then as a business person, there's so many fields and industries you can go into.
So I wasn't always in the construction industry. I just started this business 4 years ago. But I always know how to market, so that transfer across the industry. I always know how to sell. So that's also transfer across the industry, right? So for you, what was the most challenging things to do when, like, let's say one of your idea fail, one of your product didn't get the hit that it was supposed to. What
Yeah.
was the challenging thing for you to move forward from that?
Yeah, I think see, I'm I'm not a super rich guy with dad's money or investor money. So of course the financial aspect is very hard. Whenever you fail, you have to recover. And in tech, it's bigger failure, right? It's not that you spend 20, 30, 40, 50,000. It's in the hundreds, even in the millions, when you actually fail, So, my first product failed and it was about 400,000, and I was like freaking driving Uber to make that money. So it was very, very hard earned money over a period of 2.5, 3 years. Um, so I think the financial aspect is big. You should always plan better for the financial failure aspect. The second thing, which I think is very, very important, is um, the biggest challenge is this is the people around you. So when you fail, the people around you can make you or break you, you know. So sometimes people around you are so good, and I was blessed with people like that, that even in failures, they keep you very positive, and they keep you growing, and they tell you it's a stepping stone, and they support you in the right way. But sometimes people really pull you down when you fail. So friends, family, mentors, employees, partners, all these people around you, all your stakeholders, they really matter a lot when you fail, especially when you are successful, all is well. But when you fail, is that when it really matters. I think thirdly and lastly, your own motivation and your own willpower in terms of getting up again is also very, very important, because for me, I've been a sportsman, right? So I've learned how to lose a game and then show up the next day again and play again and try to win, and then lose again and then try to win. I've lost like 20 matches in a row sometimes, and that's a big number to lose, and people can break. But that's what sport and competitive sport teaches you, to get up again, get up again. So I think that was very important. I've seen people really suffer mentally, physically, emotionally, at that time, when they cannot get up and do another business or try to revamp it or try to change direction. So yeah, I think these three things are the biggest when it comes to failure.
I think you put it amazingly. Is you have to have a good environment with people that are supporting you, and second, the financial aspect is always going to be hard. But and the third thing is you want it or not, right? I think that's the most important thing too. Is when I try in my personal life, when I try to do something, it never success first try. It's always, there's always going to be hiccup. There's always going to be, a little bit of like, I don't know, obstacle that get in your way.
Yeah,
If it was easy, right? Everybody would done it already, but
yeah,
it's not easy, right? In business, if you sold marketing and sales, then the constraint just going to move to production or fulfillment or implementation. And then once you got that in, then the constraint going to move back into marketing. How can we get more
Mhm.
clients? We get more sales. So it's like a ping pong match. And as an entrepreneur, you have to, keep that, you know, keep that in balance that you scale up. But also is the I believe in the concept of like masterminding, you know, uh, be around the people that are doing the same thing that you do and in the same journey. Then you always have three community that that will live up when you fail, so mentoring somebody from behind, with the community that doing the same thing that you do, in the same level that you do, and have a few mentor that can go in and give you an outside perspective when things doesn't go well. Because sometimes, like I know that I only see right in front of me when the problem arise, but then when the man, oh, let's look at it this way, and then there's another mentor, hey, let's look at it this way. Now we have three perspective. Is I think that's that the community is so important too, man. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think I agree. It's the mentor, the mentorship part of an entrepreneur life is very, very important. I think we talk about it less and we give less importance to it. But I think that's a like very big moves in life that you make usually come from, those experiences. And I think it's a cycle, right? You take mentorship, you give it back, you take mentorship, you give it back. So if you think of it as a part of your job, I think that is how important it should be for entrepreneurs. It should not be an option. You need to have a few mentors and you need to have a few mentees also, at the right stage. Of course, when you're starting, you won't have a mentee, but 5, 6 years in business, you've learned enough to teach it to other people. So I think this cycle has to keep going, and that is the beauty of working with humans, right? We're all humans working with humans. Unless AI takes over the world, this should exist, and this has to be that human effect, that keeps bringing each other up, you know so I think that is very, very important. I personally think, like, I don't know what they teach in these entrepreneurship degrees and all, but this should be like a freaking subject in colleges where they teach entrepreneurship and stuff, because I think that is very, very important and very, very less talked about.
Yeah, I think in the tech industry, is I believe that there is not a lot of community for tech people. It's because tech people get into every industry. So the mindset of tech entrepreneur is like, well, he's gonna steal my shit. He's gonna do this and that. So I don't see a lot of those, except for, like, maybe Russell Brunson. He does the thing that he does, the funnel challenge or whatever, or
Yeah.
Hormozy. Those are like more of like big business. But like, it's to me, there's a lot of community around construction, because construction is, I don't think that's going to be replaced by AI anytime. And that field always going to have people, always going to have demand, because people need a house to live in. And
Yeah.
in America, where they have excess in money, and if I know one thing that is true about Americans, they don't save money.
Mm.
They will spend into the future, which is taking out loans, leveraging their home equity, just to have a nice house, just to have a nice car, just to have
Yeah.
a nice watch, whatever it is that your income level allows. We will spend up to that income level that we have. And after a certain point in time, then you have investor, then you have, people that managing your money. But most of America living paycheck to paycheck, a good paycheck to paycheck, not a bad paycheck to paycheck, right? So everything can be put on payment. So I think it's a hyper growth environment, despite what the politicians say, despite what the online say. uh, the From the economic activity that I see happening, I don't think that we are in a recession. I think we are in a growing mode, but not like excessive growth, like when the interest rate were like 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
Right now is like 2024 and 2023 is like a cleansing part. Like, I see people file bankruptcy all the time in the
Yeah.
past 2 years because they didn't get their shit in order. No technology to, automatically follow up on a lost lead, or automatically remind people on appointment, whatever that is, that function might be. They don't have that in place. Uh, Sales, they don't have a sales process in play. Marketing, they don't have a marketing process in play. So they're just waiting for the market to bless them with whatever it is that they're gonna get. So now the market tightened up a little bit, right? Oh, interest rate 6%. I'm not building a house anymore. Oh, interest rate too high. I'm not doing this anymore. Interest rate too high. So now all the problems start arise. Well, now you have no foundation on technology, no tech integration, no marketing integration, no sale process, no client experience integration, and now everything got exposed, money is tied up. So now you see the consolidation of company, right? People go out of business, well, they need a job. So they go to big guy to get a job, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of talent
Yeah.
out there right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true, man. A lot is happening, and especially, since after COVID, um, I think again people are failing to realize I don't classify tech as an industry. You know, I classify tech as a base. I think it's a way of doing business. So there's a traditional way to do business, there's a tech friendly way to do business. So, and that's one reason, right? You mentioned that people like there's not a lot of tech communities. There is s- specific tech industry communities, so I know
Mhm.
people who get together, talk about home services technology, real estate technology, AI technology. So there's people who's like different industries and tech enabled, they meet. And again, this is a growing industry. One thing that I've seen, because tech is mostly in front of computers, right? Tech is digital and it's computer and it's remote. So that's also a factor that I've seen less people, meeting. I see a lot of people have become introverts because they've, been
Yeah.
in front of laptops for years and years. That part I don't like personally, right? But some of the bases of the tech world are made in a way that human interactions are lesser, compared to roofing, where you meet humans, you work with humans, because we actually, the work is done on machines, right? We code on a computer. So there's no human supply. The computer is the factory. So I think because of these reasons, people, they don't really have a lot of communities and stuff, which I hate, man. I would love to have more communities which are around technology, because I don't think, yes, some people will be scared that you can steal their business and steal their clients and stuff. But I think there's a sea out there, right? There's a world out there. Like there's in roofing and every other industry. There's so many people that need technology. So that being said, yes, of course, some people will be scared because they don't think their quality of work is good. But mostly people are okay sharing ideas and meeting up and telling about their clients and stuff like that. It's just the meetup part is hard for a lot of these tech people.
Yeah, I think that's a shame, man, because I know that face-to-face interaction is nothing can replace that. Like nothing. Like the reason why mastermind it still works is because say you're a beginner, you don't know where you want to go. You have these ideas that you're afraid to implement. You go to a convention, say say a tech convention, and you talk to a guy like you, and then they see it, they feel it, they shake your hand, and they talk to you. I'm like, oh, this guy is, just like me. If he can do it, why can't I do it? So that to me is already valuable. And then the content that the oldies conference put up, it's the same shit. It's the same uh, regurgitating bullshit. But that's not the important issue. The important issue is you go there, you meet people like you meet people doing the same thing as you. You go there, check their hand, you have a beer, and then those ideas are exchanged. I'm like, hey, I have this problem. Oh, you already solved that problem. Hey, let me just shortcut this. Let me just buy your sale process or buy your copies that you buy your follow-up sequences that you send out to lost lead demo no sale, whatever it is, or the funnel that you have in your marketing funnel on the back end. You don't have to build that out. There's already people that build that out for you, so then you can shortcut your success. And and you say it's in this the tech industry is like that, but in the construction industry, not a lot of people mastermind because they think it's a waste of time. They think that the ego is so high that's like, well, I always done it this way, and it's worked for all my life. Why would I want to change anything, right? So that I think that is had more to do with anything when people don't want to improve. It's just they get in their own way. That is more. I see that more. I used to work in the service industry, but I don't see that a lot there. But over in construction industry, I see that more in the construction industry, where people are refusing to change and to implement stuff that you know it's going to help their business. You know it's going to help their set rate. You know it's going to help their close rate. You know it's going to help their retention rate. You know it's going to help them out in general. Like I know businesses that does $100 million in revenue and still don't have a scheduling process.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
There's
just a simple.
and yeah, the amount of people I've seen that still earn like shit tons of money through traditional business is crazy. And good for them, but I think there's so much more money on the table that they leave, because they are
Yeah,
not enabling technology.
I mean, and when I talk to them, so I'm in a lot of community. I'm like, why don't we have this? Well, we're running a big business. The juice had to be worth the squeeze. I'm like, well, so squeeze it a little by little,
Yeah,
you know, because like just one thing is like, okay, scheduling reminder, a scheduling tools that you can see all of your sales rep, or
yeah,
visually. Just that alone is gonna, cut down on your uh, it's going to improve your efficiency. A reminder, so it's going to improve your cancellation rate. A follow-up system is going to improve your close rate. All this without coaching anybody, without
yeah,
training sales rep, without those part come later, right? But they don't even have that part. They don't even have any of that part. I'm like, how do you function as a company? You know,
yeah,
uh, so but it is what it is, man. And I'm a big tech fan. I know nothing about technology, but I'm a big tech fan because I see that what it can do for us. So as right now, actually, we are in the final phase of building out a Monday workflow, just so we can see everything, and everybody can see everything. So visually, it's nicer to operate our company. But then when these ideas, obviously, I'm I don't come from the industry, so I can try new things, and I don't care what any other people say. And then when my idea is successful, then everybody signed up for, oh, now or something, now everybody use go high level in construction.
yeah,
All of a sudden everybody use go high level. All of a sudden then everybody have a follow-up sequence. All of a sudden, like people are starting to get on these trends. But with technology, you have to get on it and you have to implement it and you have to use it. Otherwise, just sitting on the shelf like that, So
yeah, yeah. No, you say you're not, you're not tech a tech person, but you don't need to be a tech person to enable technology, right? That mindset that you have is what matters. The more that you have that mindset that, hey, I like technology, I love technology, I want technology to be in my business. If you have that mindset, then whenever you get the opportunity, you will do that. Like you're doing Monday.com, for example, right? So in the future, you might think of doing your own portal or mobile app or whatever. So I think having the mindset, it keeps you open to improvements and options, which should always be there as a business person.
yeah, but the return you get on it is like amazing. Like we run an 8-figure business with a team of like uh 11 people in the front office. Of course there's subcontractor and everything, but I don't count a subcontractor. It's just like you buying you buying the fulfillment, you know.
Yeah.
But it's you can run with I guess with technology. I used to work at a big corporation where they use Salesforce to where I can see how important data is. With technology, you can always go back. and rehash your system, you can always go back and market to your own people. You can always go back and increase the LTV. You can always go back and ask for more referrals. You can always go back and make more client with what you already have. But if you
Yeah.
have no system, no CRM, no record of whatever it is, how much money is being made on each client, then you can't possibly make good qualified decision for your future.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
That's the mindset that I love, man. People who have that mindset, I think they're very tech savvy. So you are not technical, but you're very tech savvy. And that's what matters, right? The biggest thing technology can give you is data, is insights, in each and every field of your business, whatever business you're in. So if you want data, and smart people make decisions based on data. Yes, there's a certain gut feeling, and there's a vibe, and there's a thing that you do as a business owner. But if that can add on or be backed by data, which is going to come through technology, then there's no going back. Then there's only one way, and that is upwards.
right? And I mean, the moment that I could afford a CRM, and I got one. The
Yeah.
moment that I could afford technology, I basically seek out whatever it is that we need for that piece, and whether or not it's a phone system, whether or not it's a estimating system, whether or not it's a pricing model, whether or not it's because you do here's the thing about I love technology. You do it once and it's built, it's done.
Yeah.
And there's a continuous utility you get from it,
Yeah.
right? So then the next step that I want to do for the business is probably eventually build my own CRM, so I can white label it, because there's nothing, and this is I know you're in the e-commerce space, but take there's nothing that encompassing the the whole process from the beginning to when the lead intake to when they exit out your of your production cycle. There's nothing
Yeah.
that do A to Z. There's okay, you can use this for lead and marketing, but then when you go to when you go to build out the pricing stuff for your client, you have to use another system. So then you have to either zap over or make over. And
Yeah.
then from there, it had to zap back into your production cycle and to Monday or whatever it is that you
And you're
use
talking
to
about
run.
the construction industry, right?
Yeah, construction industry. So
Yeah.
there's nothing like it. And now I talk to a lot of people. I know why there's nothing like that, because the implementation, the onboarding is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially, yeah, go ahead, man.
Each industry, as I mentioned, tech is a way of doing business, right? Each industry is so unique that there cannot be one solution. Like, I like go high level, it's very nice, but there's always going to be 20% missing in what you think go high level can do because of your industry, 20 to 30%. So if you want to make a perfect solution, it has to be made by people who are in that industry. So if I
I
don't know construction business, I cannot build good construction technology. If I don't know real estate business, I cannot build good real estate technology. So, with somebody like you, and that's why, people get partners. If I have an idea, for example, I had to build this wholesale business, wholesale technology, right? E-commerce hub. So I found people who are in that industry who I used to build the product, because I don't have enough knowledge of what goes in the industry, you know. So I think that is a very good mindset at the right time. If you can build a solution for the construction industry, I don't think there's anything that exists out there in terms of something specifically for this industry only.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing that does what I want. So that's why I hire a bunch of developer to build me what
Yeah.
I want. I want this flow to happen. I want this to happen, that to happen, this to happen, that to happen. So it's a little bit custom, but it's at least, it's built to what we want to use it for, I guess.
Yeah.
So
And whenever you do build, right, if you have enough resources, it should always be built natively. Because if you build on a third party platform like Go High Level or Monday or whatever other platform, then you're always dependent on them. It's like then it's a tool, but you're dependent on somebody else. So
yeah,
whenever you decide to build, I would encourage you to try and build it. You can build a small solution in the start, but build it something that you own. You are the owner of it. It belongs to you. So that way you can do whatever you want with it in the future.
yeah. So I think we're not quite there yet, but once we're there, obviously, I'm probably gonna hire somebody
Yeah.
to build it from start to finish, because I mean, it's it's marketing, sales, and follow up is really what I'm after. Marketing, sales, and follow up. If we can, maximize the investment that we put into marketing, maximize the investment that we put into each of our client, and really, if you can get 5 repeat client from one client, then your LTV is 5x the regular guy. So
Yeah.
so that you don't have to work that hard to get
Yeah.
that money.
One more thing, right, that I know with technology. And just because we're talking on this topic, at the right time, I would love to just give you free advice and value if I can. But one more thing is that technology increases loyalty in your customer base. If you're a service business, let's say construction or whatever, right? I just bought a home from Lennar Homes. There's a big company, Lennar Homes. They don't have a mobile application. They have an old web portal, and I hate it because I don't want to go into this shitty portal and do whatever I have to do, things that will help them earn more money. I don't do them because the technology is so bad. Imagine if they had a very smooth mobile application. I would go on it, quickly do what I have to do. They earn money. I'm happy. I like it. I recommend it to more friends. Technology is your basis of loyalty. People, when you're starting a business, right? Social media is the first form of loyalty. Then comes website or web portal. Then comes mobile app. Mobile app is the most extreme form of loyalty that a customer can have. So if you have 30 people who download your mobile app, they're always going to contact you, 95% at least, for anything related to construction. Let's say if you're in the construction industry. So, if you're able to get technology built and you're able to make your people use it, offer them incentives, do whatever in the start to make them use your technology. Because once they start using it, then they're very loyal to you and your business.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, it's construction is still like I think they're 10 year behind in other industry, you
yeah.
know, in terms of data gathering and it's a very fragmented industry. So if you have one last advice you would give to maybe an entrepreneur that try to make it right now, that they're stuck on whatever it is that they're stuck on, what is your advice to them?
One thing that I learned when I was stuck was, and I did not do it well, right? And that's why I learned it the hard way, is that sometimes we are so deep into our own shit that we don't realize that there's money on the table if you just look a little bit left and right. So if you're struggling and if you're really stuck, try to look left and right. There might be money on the table somewhere nearby, which you can make use of, get out of that situation, use that money and put into your business. So keep your eyes and ears open in terms of opportunities which are a little bit, in the left and right industry or left and right direction. That sometimes is very easy money and opportunity, which we fail to see because we're so deep into our own stuff.
Well, yeah, so get out and zoom out, right? Forget about your problem, zoom out a
Yeah.
little bit. Well, man, it's a great conversation. Thank you for coming on. Maybe one of these they will we'll link up offline physical. I go down there quite a bit.
Yeah, man, I would love to. Whenever you come down here, I can treat you some steak, some food, some coffee, whatever you like. And we should talk more. I love talking to people who are modern in their style of entrepreneurship. And I think you're one of them. So it's good to stay connected. Lovely, man. Hopefully I see you in person soon.
All right, man. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.